It's your boy ConserViz34, and I feel like I'm making the same videos over and over again, but I just want to give fans a realistic approach when it comes to Dave Matthews Band, the shows at SPAC, and the outrageously priced tickets. Um, it's funny because, again, people are saying, oh, Boyd's not here, I missed the violin. There's no tickets for face value that you can really find abundantly, even on cash or trade. It's very hard. So apparently people who don't miss Boyd, because the tickets are even more expensive than last year was. Now I'll be going, this is the first year I've won the lottery. I've been trying for years to the lottery and tickets, and I'm gonna go. Now most times I don't go at the prices that are listed because they're outrageous in my opinion. If I find something that's above face and fits my needs, I would think about going in a future year. But look, I take the lottery, I don't win it, I don't go. But I think people are getting way too worked up about the prices of the tickets for SPAC. Now, I can understand, there's a lot of frustrations I have with the secondary market. First off, I do not like the bots because those put fans at an unfair advantage. I don't like some of the relationships where brokers get these tickets well in advance before the public, so they make deals. You look at Madison Square Garden, they struck deals with brokers, and good thing they caught that, however they caught it. And I know it's still going on. That needs to stop. So there are some things I don't like about the secondary marketplace, including the fees at StubHub. The fees at StubHub, at one point, you could pretty much know it was this percentage, the buy fee, and then the sell fee was this. It's so variable now that it gets ridiculous. But what we have to realize is when it comes to Saratoga Springs and Dave Matthews Band, or even just any big event in Saratoga Springs, like a Dead & Company show there, or another popular show, look, the venue only has 5,103 seats. Unless the artist you like is going to play 5 shows in a row there, or pull a Billy Joel residency where they play a bunch of shows over the year, or the summer really, because that's all you can't play in the snow, there's nothing you can do about these prices really, because the supply is bigger. And when it comes to Dave Matthews Band, it is the center or the epicenter of the Northeast fan base, okay? You got fans from the Jersey, South Jersey, Pennsylvania area that can get up there in a couple hours. You got fans in upstate New York that literally, this is one of the shows that comes out there is when a Dead & Company or DMB comes out, they can go to SPAC to see them. Otherwise, they got to go to the Garden, they got to go to Canada for some of those people. So you have all these people there. You have people like me that live in Connecticut, central Connecticut, that it's a 2.5-hour drive, and that's not a bad drive. You can get home the same night. You got people in Massachusetts. You look at the DMB shows in Great Woods. You look at the Fenway shows. All those fans are all converging onto this venue, and 10,000 people, 5,000 a night on average, are going to have seats. There's not enough seats in that beautiful venue, but that's what makes it great. It's so intimate. So there's going to be outrageous prices. It's going to keep getting worse unless somehow, unless they add more days or the band just takes a nosedive, and I hope that doesn't happen. But you're going to be paying a lot of money. Now the lawn seats, those don't even count, okay? There's 20,000 lawn seats. The same size, it's about half the size of the Hartford lawn. Hartford has 22,000, but they fit 22,000 on the Saratoga Springs lawn. So let's take lawn out of the equation. The seats, you're pretty much, it's like when people pay for, like when Mayweather was fighting in Vegas or Tyson was fighting in Vegas, you could buy a closed circuit TV ticket to watch it in the casino or in Vegas to feel like you're right next to the venue or you're right in the same casino. That's essentially what you're doing with the lawn. But there's 5,103 seats per night, and it's the hardest ticket to get for Dave Matthews Band. The Gorge is 3 nights. You got to travel. That deters people. You have Deer Creek, you have Alpine, but those venues are larger as far as the amount of seats they have inside and where you can see everything. This is the hardest ticket in the fan base of being a DMB fan whenever they stop here on tour. So on top of that as well, the band has raised ticket prices. You have these platinum seats, which I don't agree with for every other venue. And even it's not good to see it in SPAC, but really, what do you expect them to do? They got 5,000 seats per night. Like, they're gonna try their luck, and some of these are getting released. But whenever tickets get released for SPAC, you ain't gonna know about it. There's not even enough seats to release secretly. There's just not enough. But there's two things you can do. You can not go. Actually, three things. You can get a ticket for face value. Good luck. I mean, good luck. I mean, oh yeah, I love cash or trade. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Find a ticket on there that's abundant. You'll see them pop up and they're gone. Just like that. You can go on cash or trade. You can get tickets on an on sale. If you're fortunate enough, you can get tickets like I did through the warehouse. That's option one, I would say. Okay, you win the lottery. You win some, you lose some. That's option one. Option two is don't go. Okay? Don't go. If you really just don't like the fact that secondary marketplaces like StubHub have these ticket scalpers put up for all this money, don't go. Or if you have the money, you have the income, take that money, and if you want to go to a special night, invest it in that show. Okay? Invest it in the show, because Saratoga Springs has some popping concerts for everyone. Although this Dead & Company show this year, you could argue, was, yeah, I wasn't there, but it was, yeah, if you listen to it. But the band is intentionally biased for the Deer Creeks, for the SPACs, and for the Gorge, and when they played Alpine. So when you pay that money, you know you're guaranteed a show. You can't say that for everyone else. Most artists that come through Saratoga Springs, they don't really care. But at least for DMB, if you're going to pay over face value, you are going to get an amazing show, whether it's night one or night two. Night two specifically is always on point. So it's like people that are, oh my gosh, don't support the scalper. No. You do the same exact thing. If you ever go and get a hotel in New York City, when there's a popular event, whether it's New Year's Eve, you're doing it. The price gouging it for that is worse than Saratoga Springs. If you go and buy a house, okay, and it's in a very growing suburb of some popular city, and there's a lot of taxes, you go to Charlotte, North Carolina, you are going to pay an outrageous amount for a house that's not really worth that value outside of the supply and demand. You talk about scalpers, yo, let's talk about realtors, okay? And I know, yeah, maybe I'm missing the point, blah, 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 but people get so worked out about concert tickets, but don't think about airline tickets. Think about paying for hotels for special nights like New Year's Eve, paying for wedding stuff. I mean, anyone getting married, a Saratoga Springs ticket is nothing compared to buying a wedding. And my point is, look, you have options. Don't get married, have a small wedding, or don't go to Saratoga, or go. You know what I mean? My point is, people are getting so worked up, but it's not like it's a travesty that these tickets are so high. Again, the supply. They could have shows for 2 weeks in Saratoga Springs. There still would be people there every night. The lawn may depend on the weather, but you will have 5,000 people in those seats every night. You could have a residency all summer for Dave Matthews Band at Saratoga Springs, throwing some ballet concerts that they usually do, orchestra concerts in between. They would still sell out every show. And it's just funny, too, because people are getting mad. They get a ticket delivered to them, and it has the warehouse. Oh, my gosh, it's a warehouse ticket over face value. Oh, my God, like, what am I going to do? Like, versus if it's a Ticketmaster ticket, well, you know, it wasn't part of the fan club, blah, blah, blah. Like, look, all right, it's a shame that scalpers get into these fan clubs and flip these tickets. And sometimes a nice person just flips it to someone else for face, and then it's a scalper, and then they flip someone else. Their scalpers are on these cash or trades. They're watching on these fan pages, and they're buying tickets there. And it's frustrating, but if you're happy with the price you paid, then go. Okay, enjoy the show. But it's just outrageous that people are so worked up about tickets. And I agree, it's frustrating to buy tickets. And I think the bigger frustrations I have with the ticket marketplace is not Saratoga Springs. It's some of these venues that no one really cares about, but somehow the prices are getting worked up. Somehow you see a show in Arkansas, and these are ridiculous amounts of money to see a band in Arkansas that's going to like Rogers, Arkansas for that amphitheater, and it's well over face value. That's what frustrates me. Or when I see a team that's doing bad in sports, but somehow all the tickets are fixed to be at a certain amount well over the demand. You see empty seats there, like in Detroit with the Red Wings. There's empty seats left and right, and you can't get an affordable ticket for the lower level for a Detroit Pistons or Red Wings game. That's frustrating. But I just want to say, look, it's tough. This is the DMB, Saratoga Springs, or SPAC, whatever you want to call it. It's the hardest ticket to get, no matter what the Gorge does. It's the hardest ticket to get because it's easy to get to from the biggest part of the fan base. Biggest part of the fan base is in the Northeast. Fact. It's just straight facts. And this is the easiest venue where people from it's just like a convention. And then, people fly in, but in driving distance alone, the highest concentration of fans make it to this venue because it's a special weekend. But at least when you pay, if you're gonna pay the money over face, the band is literally telegraphing that the show is gonna be 10 times better in Saratoga Springs than it is in Austin, where you can buy below face. And that's the thing is, if you really want to see this band, DMB, right? You don't care about set lists, you don't care about whatever, and you just want to see the band and you're mad about ticket prices, you can go fly down to Austin, Texas, and the tickets were below face value. This year, the years before when they've only been to Austin a couple of times. You go down to Houston, you go down to, now they got the show in Alabama that they've had for years that's been below face value. You can find a below face value ticket and travel, and that's what people got to do. I mean, at the end of the day, you live in the Northeast. The Garden, to go see a certain act at the Garden, TD Garden up in Boston, the Madison Square Garden up down in New York City. Some of these big acts, you're gonna pay a lot of money. But if you just go down to Albany, Times Union, whatever it's called now, you go down to just go fly to Florida. Go to Sunrise, Florida, the BB&T Center, whatever it's called now. You can go see the same act with airfare and hotels for about the same price or cheaper than what you would pay at Madison Square Garden. It is what it is. You can say, oh, I'm never going to buy a scalper ticket. You know what? It's Saratoga Springs, fam. All right? Yeah, they may low at $10, but someone's going to buy the ticket or they're going to find a way to sell it. And you can't tell people, hey, no one buy a ticket over face value. Forget freedom. Forget freedom of choice of buying a ticket over $10 or $50 or $60. This is the one event you look forward to for all your year, and don't spend over money. It's stupid. If you don't want to pay, don't pay. If you're mad about the scalpers, it's okay to be mad. But you can't say that the supply is so much greater than the actual, the supply is so much smaller than the demand that you have for Saratoga Springs. So good luck to everyone. Hopefully you may the odds be in your favor, or may you save your money for next year. Go down to Alabama. All right, that show's rescheduled. Go fly down there and enjoy the beach, and it'll be cheaper than Saratoga Springs. But it's your boy ConcertViz34. I'm out.